Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, people? We back at it. As my brother says, like a craftmatic. Talking with the Ginger here.
Peace.
That's what we here for. We here to entertain
Yes, sir.
and educate.
Yes, sir.
Your boy Sir Tokes here. And my right-hand man, Slang Hue.
Yours
Fresh.
true. Ain't nothing
Fresh.
new and definitely nothing old.
Fresh.
We have no
from
idea what we're
Pegs,
talking
man.
about today, but we're going to talk about a lot of stupidness and some
Actually,
real stuff. We always have some real stuff with some
I,
stupid
I,
stuff.
I thought about some things to talk about too, but yes, let's
Okay.
talk about some real
All right.
stuff. First of all, again, as you can see, this man came out to see me and the folks out here in the Peg. I was blessed to see him, and we got to see his first NHL game.
Oh, yeah. Firstly, allow me to say, shout out to everybody in the win, because I'm not calling you the peg. I can't do. I'm not doing it. For reasons unknown and known by those who need to know. And those who do not need to know will never find out. But yeah, I fresh from the win out there in the Midwest or prairies, as we like to call them.
Yes, the prairies.
As you like to call them. It was a good trip, man. It was a good experience. A lot of it was personal, like I was telling Tokes. So a lot of it was family and meeting people and getting to know people better that I've already met. But the hockey game, as Tokes referred to, was like an amazing experience. I want to say it's top 2 or 3 sports experiences I've ever had.
Really?
Might be.
Wow. You know what? Hockey's getting a good
because
play
it was
right
more
now,
than
so.
the game too.
Yeah,
more than the game. That's why.
Actually, the folks that were sitting around were pretty entertaining too. So
yes,
again,
the whole experience. Like I kind of expected. Like I said, I've seen first hockey game ever. So hold on, is this too dark? I feel like I'm too dark, but anyway, keep it black and proud. It is still Black History Month. So
for a couple
first
more
hockey
hours.
game ever. So it was the Jets versus the Sharks, correct?
Yes.
So the game was amazing because the Sharks led for the majority of the game, like at least 75% of the game.
80%, bro.
Yeah, there's
80%.
most of the game.
Most of the game was them.
1-0. In the last 10 seconds.
I think it was 25.
Seconds?
25 seconds, yeah.
Last 25 seconds, Jets get the goal. Tied up 1-1. We go into overtime. So overtime for my first hockey game. Now, should I mention that it was Black History Month or Black History Month Day or whatever at the rink. So they had special edition hats with these type of logos, jerseys.
The singers, even the national anthem.
The national anthem was sang by a choir, which was amazing.
That was amazing. That was great.
So the entire experience was unique. And it's kind of not, I don't know if the word's ironic, but it's even more, it adds to it that it was in Winnipeg, like it wasn't in Toronto for me, because I guess it's more unexpected out there, so to speak. So everything kind of lined up. It's not like I went there for that. That wasn't a purpose, but that was, and the game was won in overtime by the home team, the Jets.
Place went crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was fun.
And then we got to go. We are part of history too because we went on the ice later and took a commemorative photo of the night. So again, something that you don't expect to happen. Yeah. You're in Winnipeg history right now.
Yeah.
On that day, we were taking pictures with some legendary people. Just imagine, you're just coming in. Hey, let's go see my girl's family. Whatever. All of a sudden, hey, you're on a picture of their Facebook.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Nobody moved out. Wait a minute. Slang moved to Winnipeg? Wait a minute. What's going on? And I had up the jersey, everything.
Yeah, hey, people were impressed. People were impressed.
Indeed.
Hell, right down to the point where one of my good friends who watches the show, is a fan of the show, my friend Wendy, she was doing 50-50 tickets, and we're walking.
Oh, yes, that's right.
All of us.
That's
and he goes, oh my gosh, it's you. I can
No.
finally meet you. I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
This guy's a superstar now. This guy was legendary.
Looking at it
Turning
like, what?
heads.
How do you know me? You sure
Yeah,
it's me?
exactly.
There
Because
maybe
I've
I look
seen you
like a
many
guy
times.
from here. She's like, no, I know you from the show. I was like, oh, holy cow! Like,
That's beautiful.
yeah,
That made my day right there. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that was dope too.
someone
I
that I
actually
wasn't
kind of
expecting.
forgot that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
forgot that.
expecting it. And I knew she worked there in terms of doing the volunteer stuff. But yeah, that was a surreal moment right there. Out
The
of
only thing
nowhere.
that could have made it better was me winning that 50-50.
Oh, $62,000. You know, and just those type of numbers make you want to just go to the games and try again and try again
Trust me.
and
Eh?
try again. I'm like, that's
Hey,
why I
it's
don't
pretty good
gamble. I
lottery.
don't do no
But you
lotteries
know, it's not a
anymore.
good idea. It's not a good
I
idea.
can't do that.
It's not
I
a
can,
good idea.
people lose houses doing that stuff.
Oh,
Crazy.
a lot more than that.
Yeah.
What was your
Marriages.
favorite part of that experience? Oh, you said the podcast reference.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, that was the most surreal part because I'm like,
Mm.
you weren't expected to be there, and they didn't know you were there, and also the fact that they referenced the show, which we're doing
Mm.
right now, that they
Mhm.
know you from, that was a surreal moment. So
True.
that was cool. You know what? The whole tour, the whole just walk with you guys, that was just
Mm.
it. Not even
Mhm.
like the game. Again, this is my second game,
Mhm.
second national hockey game
Mhm.
uh, in all my life. Number one, and I did it in the last 2 months, like 2 games.
That's great. And
So I'm
both
like,
in Winnipeg.
wow, both in Winnipeg, and I'm like, wow.
Uh,
But yeah, the walk that we had going up to the office, listen to the history, listen to the things,
yeah, yeah,
then walking back down, and just doing the tour. And I'm like I didn't care
yeah,
less who was around us. You guys were the vibe. Like your vibe made me
yeah,
feel like, because I went to a game already. And again, not to say the person I was with wasn't entertaining.
yeah.
We had a great time, but the
Just different.
vibe, we were, yeah, it was just so natural. It was just
Mhm.
so natural
Yeah.
from Miss
And you
Jones's
get a little
family.
behind the scenes feel
Yo,
to it. Yeah, yeah.
I
So
was, like I
everything
said,
works.
we
Yeah.
went all the way. He went even on the way back from the ice, going up through the catacombs of the arena,
Mhm.
backstage, and all that. The
Mhm.
elevator with the fob, and I'm like, yo, that was cool,
Yeah,
man.
it was cool. It was
So
cool.
that's something
Definitely
that
cool.
most people can't even experience. They
True.
don't have that link. So, and again, in the end, I get a new network, a new connection. So I'll
Right.
definitely touch base with him when I get. I already
Right.
told
Right.
my boss about it. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, yeah, man. So
Good thing.
let me know.
Good things.
So
Good
that's
things. Good
blow. The
things.
things can blow up out of nowhere, man. Out of nowhere.
That's
So
a fact.
again, I'm glad you came. And now the next time you do come out, it's possibly for a football game.
Yes, I would like that.
I need to
I
get you
get
to a
my
football
first
game.
CFL game. I don't think
Mhm.
I've never seen professional football actually ever. Have you been to an
I
NFL?
haven't seen an NFL game. Again, I've played for a while, so I know the game. But when you're there, there's
Got to be
the
different.
thing is, yeah. But here's the thing: I've been to Argo games when it was back in the dome.
Okay.
The dome was too big.
I feel like I've been to an Argo game now that you say that,
I've been to them,
I
and
think I have.
I went to a Grey Cup in the nosebleeds. Like, you know,
Okay.
when the Raptors used to play there, we were in the nosebleeds, and they were giving those Sprite Zone tickets to
For football.
MTHA for basketball.
Oh no, yeah,
Not-
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
Sprite Zone.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
but then later on, I got to go to a football game. Again, it was the stadium was just too big. It
Yeah.
made sense of why they moved it. So
Mhm.
I want to find out the experience of that new BMO Stadium,
Yeah, I think it's BMO.
BMO
Yeah.
Field. I need to go watch a game there
Yeah, BMO
because,
Field. BMO
yeah.
Field.
So
That's good.
I've watched games in the old stadium here in Winnipeg. They broke that down. They brought the new one, and I've
Yeah.
watched games there. And I'm like, the vibe is, like, again, it's electric. Winnipeg, all they have is hockey and football. Real, like on a national level. They do have a baseball team, and that's more of a under
Farm system.
yeah.
Triple A or
So
some double A.
I think it's the American. It's like an American Association, whatever. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's the people will get players from there too, or people who've retired and want to still play, they go and play there. But yeah,
Mm.
their football, they love their football. I mean, from
Mm.
the shirts, the makeup, the hair,
Mm.
you name it, they love it, and they
Go
go.
all out.
And yeah, if you're the opposing team, man, beware, because I was there, and it was myself and a couple of friends who again came out to to Winnipeg to watch the game together, and the Argos won, and we were looked at like, oh, but at the same time, Winnipeg people are friendly when it comes to the game. They just watch the game, they go home. They don't do anything
Yeah.
else about it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I
definitely
think
have to
you
come
coming
out
out
in the
there.
summer. Well,
Yeah,
but
man.
mind you, I have a little blog I'm probably gonna put up on my channel later sometime this week when I feel like editing and doing all that crap. But yeah,
Mm-hmm,
for of the
mm-hmm,
trip,
mm-hmm,
so get a
mm-hmm,
little bit of it there,
mm-hmm.
and we'll post. We should post some pictures on this on our in our community here as well. I was
Oh,
thinking
for
about
sure.
that. We should start using our community more actually.
For sure,
But
for sure. Again,
yeah,
I think we lost the well, again, we all had busy schedules because I was still
yeah,
working at the time.
yeah,
But I think we should have did like a fun photo shoot or something, just
yeah,
because I
yeah, for
mean
sure, for
you
sure.
weren't here, because we always can put that on our YouTube
Yeah,
banner or our Instagram or whatever, or the TikTok. It would
yeah,
have been fun to
that's
do. But
true.
again,
We should have did that.
it
Yeah.
wasn't it was an impromptu trip
Hmm.
to really to just like it wasn't the podcast that was the reason. The reason was family
Right.
and whatever. So
Yeah.
I was blessed to know that you had time, went out, did our thing. So
Hmm.
kudos to you, man, for coming out. So again, that's what
Thanks
true
to the
sports
wind
fans.
for having me.
Thanks to the win. I don't know if
I'm
anybody would
changing
understand
it. I'm
the
changing it.
win.
Yeah,
What's
you're
the
gonna have
win?
to get down and lay down. That's what it is. Just get down and lay
Yeah,
down. But
man.
yeah,
I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad you came out and entered it. How was the flight though? How was the flight?
nice and easy. 2 hours is nothing. Like that's the shortest flight I've ever been
Yeah,
on as well.
I was
Because
gonna
I've
say.
never flown to New York or Montreal or anything like
Mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm.
2 hours.
Soft.
Well, delayed both ways. However, both ways delayed.
Really?
Yeah, and both ways, no notification until we were like an
Yeah,
hour out of
yeah.
leaving.
I
I
think
don't
is that is
understand that.
is that a common thing for airports in
Not to
general, or was it
me.
just here? Yeah, because
Not
I've
that
had that
I've
before.
flying internationally. You
You get a
unless
heads up.
they literally do not know until that time, which is
Yeah,
possible in this case. But they said something about the flight crew was late coming in, so they knew before that.
yeah. See,
They could have let us
their
know.
their
That was on the
communication's
way
weak.
there. Yeah, but I've usually had a good amount of notice. Sometimes I've been at the airport anyway, but still, because you're there like 2 hours before your flight, you
Right.
might get that message
Mm-hmm,
3 hours before your flight, 4 hours. I've had that, but not an hour or as your flight is supposed to board. That's when they're telling you.
Do you
Both
really
ways.
need
That's
to?
what happened.
Do you really need to be there 2 hours before though? Really?
It's a just in case thing. So
Just in case.
no, you don't. But I'll tell you this: I once was flying to Florida. Was it Florida? Yeah, it must have been Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Once flying to Florida, and I was going with a bunch of guys. So one
Right.
of the dudes was supposed to arrange the ride for his brother to pick us up, but his
Okay.
brother ended up forgetting. So we're there waiting on him to come pick us up. I'm home waiting on them to pick me up, and I'm like, you know what? It's like 2 hours before flight. I'm gonna go because we were international. They say to be there like 4 hours before. So I leave to go, get to the airport. This is when they were renovating the airport,
Right.
or renovating one of the terminals. Bro, it took me an hour and 55 minutes to get through customs.
Jeez. Customs, bro.
So locally, I might say, nah, you could get away with an hour before. I think you should
Okay.
aim to be early just in case things happen, traffic, anything could happen. But international, because you have to go through customs and searches and different verifications and all that,
Right.
I would say leave the 4 to 6 hours. I wouldn't say six, not six, but 3 to 4 hours earlier than your flight. And it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
I mean, it cuts into your sleep, if anything, but
Well, I mean, if you know you're traveling, you're pretty much sleeping whatever time you need to get there
better to catch
on
the flight.
time. Yeah.
Better to catch the flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to be sitting there, because I know there's a lot of places I've heard that people will be like, I think they're in Cancun or wherever, and they all of a sudden say, "Oh, your flight's delayed, so you have to stay another day." Now, all of a sudden,
That's
you
a
have
different story.
family to tell, you have your rides, you have your job, and
Yeah,
now you
that's
have
a
to
different
stay in a
story.
spot that you have already overstayed your welcome. Now, most
Mhm.
places will comp you for that because it's not your fault. So that's great. But again, your whole life is shifted because of a delay. That sucks.
That
I wouldn't want.
that's never
That's
happened to
terrible.
me. I've never had that happen either. Thankfully, I've
Mm.
had delays where I've missed my connecting flight and had to wait longer, like a few more hours.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
that's probably the worst. Yeah, going to LA was probably my worst trip ever. Going there, not the trip itself,
Yeah,
which
just to
wasn't
travel
great
there.
either, but just the
Right.
travel. So, yeah,
Yeah.
but that was more
Yeah.
of a business trip, so that's cool too. But yeah, what else is going on in these streets, man?
As I was telling you before, that the legendary actor Gene Hackman was found dead in his
Mm-hmm.
home with his
Mm-hmm.
wife. Now he's
Mm-hmm.
95. Well, he was
Mm-hmm.
95. She was 65, and they killed the. Well, I don't know if they killed the dog, but the dog was dead too. There's no information about what's going on.
They didn't
So something's
confirm
up.
cause of death, right?
Nothing. So that makes me suspicious because that man has been retired
That's kind of crazy.
since what was the movie he did with Will Smith then? I forget.
Will Smith, Gene
Yeah,
Hackman.
yeah, yeah.
What
Gene
was that?
Hackman had that was my
I might have
favorite Gene
watched it.
Hackman. I mean, he's done other great movies, but that's the one I remember him the most. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So they're saying he might have died 9 days before they found him.
Wow.
Uh, Gene Hackman, data from the pacemaker of
On the
Oscar-winning.
on the
Oh,
17th.
data from his pacemaker died 9 days before investigators discovered his body and that of his wife in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Officials said Friday. Hackman, 95, and Betsy
Mhm.
Arakawa, 65, were found dead Wednesday in different rooms. Both bodies showed signs of decomposition, according to an affidavit filed Thursday and obtained by the Washington Post. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The,
It's a
the movie
wild time out here, eh? But anyway, it was a movie you're talking about?
the movie was Enemy of the State.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's one of my
That's
favorite movies,
that's one
actually.
of
I like
my
that movie a
favorite
lot.
movies. I think
Yeah, I like
that's
the
great.
movie a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, but now they're not saying that there was any foul play or
Yet.
whatnot
Yeah.
yet. But
Yeah.
again, based on a situation like that, it looks like again,
Investigation ongoing.
yeah, exactly. But again, based on how we know how things play out, when you kill a dog,
It could be murder suicide too. You never know.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
it
that's what
could
you're kind
be,
of thinking?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I
As
thought
if
you were
like, you know
thinking
what?
murder.
Oh no.
Okay.
When you kill the dog, like
Mm.
you're taking everything. There's nothing
Mm.
else to go with because they don't have no kids.
Mm.
So
Together. He doesn't does he have kids at all?
I don't know if he has kids per se.
Uh
Uh,
R.I.P.
yes, he
Gene
does.
Hackman
Yes,
and
Christopher Allen
his wife.
Hackman, Elizabeth Jean Hackman,
Hmm.
and Leslie Ann Hackman are his children. So again,
Hmm.
that is wild.
Sad.
It is sad because you never know when you're going to go. And this guy again, he lived a long life, 95. So
True. True.
95. So it's not like
Wonder what was
again, you
his
want.
last film? I
Oh,
wonder.
he retired a long time ago. Remember, he
Yeah,
stopped. He said he wanted to get out of the industry a long time ago.
I
I
did
mean,
not
I
know
think
that.
it was 2000. Yeah, 2000.
2000?
I think it was 2000 was his last. No,
That
2001. Sorry.
long ago for real?
Oh no,
That's
actually,
no,
just
he must
2000,
have did some more since
2003.
then.
Yeah, 2003 with the Runaway Jury.
2004 was Welcome to Mooseport.
That was this a silly one that he did. I know that's like not one of your top ones, but yeah,
No, I just want to know what's his last.
yeah, I think that was the
Uh,
one.
that was
Mooseport.
the last one.
That was the last one. Now he's done a lot of. He was making writing books, I believe,
Oh
writing
yeah?
books and doing some voices. But other than that, he was never really in the industry. He wanted to separate himself from the whole thing. So you know what? It is what it is,
Crazy.
man. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
Crazy.
Here's a funny story that I have.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a one off, but someone contacted me on one of these dating sites,
Mm.
and I talk whatever, and I'm like, this person has a 10-month-old baby and is already
Mm.
on a dating site trying to look for man. So
It's
I
rough out
mean,
here, man.
I'm curious. I'm like, okay. So I asked a few questions, like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm, what do you do? Oh, I'm in accounting. I said, so you must be on mat leave, right? I said, no, I have no job. I'm like, what the hell? So then I was pushing and curious, and then to find out, oh, this person wants to have someone take care of her and blah blah. Like,
Oh,
click,
of course, of course.
boom, that's it, man. No more.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Sir,
got
I'm
enough
all
information. I was never really that interested in the first place, but I'm like,
right.
man,
That's
like
good
you
enough
want
for
to.
me.
I always have to question, why are these people on these sites? Especially you have a 10-month. The child's not even 1 year old, and you're already looking for a man.
I mean, I agree with you. I definitely don't disagree with your sentiment. At the same time, if I was to be empathetic or to try to see the other side, everybody gets lonely,
No,
and
I get
especially
it.
in that situation, some this hence things like postpartum.
She stated that. Yeah, she stated that
Yeah,
postpartum is bothering her.
women.
I said, I get it. Hey, you
If
want
you
somebody to talk
feel
to?
they
I'm here.
you'll feel super alone if you have a newborn and the man is not around, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? You're really no family to, and even if family's there and you live on your own with the baby, you you could
Gets
feel.
to
I
you.
could see how, yeah, I could see how it can get to you, and you want a
Definitely.
companionship of some type. Now
100%.
is so I won't use the word if I won't ask the question, is it right or wrong? I can just tell you I wouldn't. I'd probably respond very similarly as you did.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. That's all. I mean, if you want something, I get it, but you have, and again, I
There's
don't want
somebody
to
out there
sound
that's gonna
like
give it to her too.
I don't want to sound like the fit what is it, the fix and flex or whatever those guys are, different those guys on
Oh,
the podcast.
yeah, whoever those idiots are.
Yeah, they say, they always say, what do you bring to the table? I'm truly in my head, I'm like, yeah, you have a 10-month-old baby, you don't work, and you're moving into a new place, and in my head, I'm like, so what are you going to bring to this table? In my head, I'm
Mhm.
thinking that
Valid. Valid. It's a
because
valid
I'm
question.
like, what is it? You have a 10-month-old.
So did she say she wanted to be taken care of, or that's what
Yeah,
you surmised?
she fully said it. I would
Oh,
like somebody to cook for
well, at least
me.
she's honest.
Bro, I'm
She wants
sorry.
somebody to cook.
It's one thing to ask for that, but again, like, especially if you had, an older child or even whatever, but you have a 10-month-old. That means you just got out of a relationship. You just finished getting pregnant, and you're telling me you want
She
somebody to
just
jump
finished
in.
getting pregnant.
It's true. 10 months plus the
Yeah,
9.
you're
Come
not
on.
wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not saying
So
you're
then,
wrong. It's hilarious.
I mean, like, you're you're you're
Just
you're
finish
just
with
you're just
me.
finished breed. Now you want the man in your life to come take you and your son,
She wants to be saved. Don't
bro.
save her. She don't wanna be saved.
I remember
Don't
I remember
save
your I remember your
her. Don't
lovely lady
wanna
called
be
me Captain
too
Save.
saved.
I said, the,
She
ca-
don't
the
wanna be
cape is
saved.
off. No
Yeah,
more
no,
Captain Save.
that's too much, B. Come
I'm
on, man.
out, bro. I'm
I'm
out.
I'm not super crazy on the um idea of not taking care of another man's child. I'm not really against that,
Right?
but I can also say I don't know if it's for me. Uh
I get that too. Yeah, it's not for
very
everybody.
there's a bunch of different factors there, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it either, right? Like, because I've never really been in that position. So,
Right?
having said that, I'm cool with the idea of another man doing that if that's cool, if that's what he wants to do.
Being
But
that man,
10
stepping up.
months, yeah, but 10 months.
Hey, that's
And at the
again.
same time, you know what? You know what? And the more I think of it, because at the same time, I would commend a man who would do that. I just wouldn't expect no man to do that.
I can't commend the man because, again, now if there was a situation where he's working and she just had, and there was an abusive, like, you don't know the backstory.
Yeah,
And you're like, I
yeah,
need to get out, whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
but I'm
that
like,
matters. Absolutely.
yeah, that 100%. But if it's on the flip side, like, hey, I just want to be pampered and taken care of, and I'm
Yeah, no.
sitting there looking, I'm like, you have a
Go
child?
find work.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not
man.
even, not even the boys, not even one. Like, nah, be
It's hard
that
out
was
there on the streets, man.
I just shake my head, shake my head.
I've seen
Then
some
you,
wild situations, so I don't know.
but then you have people who are too independent and they're trying to find man. And like I said, I had conversations with again another person. I'm like, hey, you know, blah 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 blah, and they say, yeah, because I did not keep up communication, they lost interest. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? "Oh, well, because you know, on the weekend I thought I'd hear from you. Well, you already know that my daughter is on my weekends. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
that. And you also made plans. Yeah, I know that. But you know, I feel old fashioned and like, "So what? What do you mean? Like, what are you trying to get at? Like,
Well,
some people don't know what they want.
well, she's telling you what she wants. I can't say that. She's just said what
How?
she wants. She just told you she was old fashioned. She wants the man to be the hunter.
But that's the thing though. Like, I
Mm,
was, and
mm,
when I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Oh, I'm on night shift. I respected that. I said, you know what? I'll let you do your thing.
mhm,
And time goes by, and you know, they make plans with other people. I have my daughter and whatnot.
mhm.
And then the time I'm free, I message, say, yeah, I lost interest because, you know, yada, yada, yada. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
because you didn't continue. I'm not listen.
How,
What I'm explaining it in her terms. I'm not telling you
yeah.
that I
No,
agree with
I
you.
get it. I get it. I just was
She's
confused.
saying that she wants, and I've been here too. She
Hmm.
wants you to be the pursuer, like as in the old school, old
Yeah.
fashioned way. The man basically runs down the woman,
Nah, B.
runs down the woman until he captures her heart, and then she gives him the attention he's looking for.
Nah, B.
I can't quite honest, quite frankly, need reciprocal energy.
Facts.
Um, I
Facts.
will do my if I'm interested, I will do my best to make a connection. And then if it's not being reciprocated, the moment it's not being reciprocated, I'm pretty much usually out of it. Now, having said that, I also, because I'm the balanced man, there's two
Of
sides to every
course.
story.
Of course.
I also think it depends on how much you like this person. So if I really liked a girl, which takes time to build as well. But let's
Of
say,
course.
we hit it off and we've gone on a couple dates, whatever, whatever. Just painting a little
Hmm.
scenario.
Hmm.
And I find I really like this girl.
Hmm.
I would put forth more effort than normal
Of course.
to try to keep that going.
Yeah.
Which
Conversations.
what I'm basically saying is that has to be earned. I'm not saying you have to work for it because maybe it just doesn't. Maybe we're not compatible, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
But
I
don't.
am saying that I'm not going to be the only one working because that's
But
setting a precedent for our relationship, and I'm not
I,
doing that.
I said, the person says, oh, I didn't hear from you. I said, wait, your fingers broke? Because
There's
you
a
have the same
receiver
technology I
and a
have.
speaker.
Like, you know what? And that's why I'm like, you know what? If you don't have the energy or the effort to put out that energy,
Mhm.
then I'm sorry. We're in a day and age where you have all the skills, knowledge, and know how to keep something going if you really wanted it. Now, you might have really wanted it.
Well, we were always in that age. That's the thing. Like these
Yeah, it
people are
never died.
fooling themselves.
Well, because
You
of
know
those
what
new
to do if
shows. You
you
know those
like
shows.
somebody. No, but like nobody wants in this microwave generation, and I'm not even talking about young people because us old asses are falling for shit
Hmm.
too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nobody wants to risk anything, especially not our heart. We'll risk it on business, maybe. We'll risk it to get a little bread, but we won't risk. People don't want to risk their heart. They don't want to admit to liking each other and going to a different length to make a relationship work. We're letting go some of these frivolous. I'm not saying all of your standards and all of your
Right.
values.
Right.
I'm not talking about getting rid of your values or principles at all. Anyway,
Hmm. Hmm.
but there are things that we hold on to, like not calling her again because she didn't call me. Like, um, oh, she has too many friends, or
Hmm. No,
oh,
no.
her scare. I'm not better than anybody that I'm speaking of because I've been there. Her skirt is
Yeah.
too high.
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't have real hair.
Yeah.
Oh, she's whatever, man. I'm not saying we don't have preferences, and
Yeah.
again, what all I'm saying is reassess what is more important to you.
Well, be realistic. Be realistic of what you're reassessing, though. That's the thing.
What,
Don't make it so weird.
yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's simple, but maybe some people it's not simple. To me, it's somebody who shows genuine interest in me, and I'm talking at the beginning.
Mm-hmm,
Shows genuine interest in me as much as well as I do them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I like you like me. We're both not afraid to explore this
mm-hmm,
relationship because it's a
mm-hmm.
relationship the moment you even dating.
Fact.
It's a version of a relationship. It's
Yeah,
not
it's just
an
it's the very,
exclusive
very
relationship.
beginning. You're building the
Perhaps
foundation there.
where you're building the foundation. So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like, even in that situation, man, you don't even have to tell me. You don't have to come to me with the, I never heard from you. You're like, did you want to hear from me? Then call me. I, guys, sometimes, listen, just between me and you, because we're the only ones here.
Mm.
Sometimes I'll sit, I haven't heard from my girl all day, and I'll get stubborn for a minute and be like, yo, I'm not calling her. She has my number. And besides, convince myself, and besides, she's busy. I go through that, but then I
Mm-hmm.
slap myself and say, oh, doc, you're a grown ass man. You want to talk to your woman? Call your woman.
Facts.
Again, easier. It's my woman. My woman. I have
Yes.
I can say and apply that way, that mentality
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
calling, where
But
it's not as easier when you're dating.
well, it's not as easy, but it's still just as simple.
Same
If
approach,
you want to listen, if you want to hear that person, or you're missing that person, you want to know more about them. Hey, pick up the phone, text, call, whatever. You have the
whatever.
ability. Don't be sitting there. I'm just waiting for them to call me. Why?
Yeah, because I want to be pursued. Now, and again, that's our perspective. I understand her perspective as well, but she just got to go find a man that does that.
Yeah,
That
but
works for,
again,
if that's what's important to her. I'm not telling her to change. I think it's stupid and maybe you should change, but I ain't telling you to change.
no, I'm not saying, I just know, um, as the great Malcolm X says, the chickens come home to roost. You reap what you sow, bro. You're gonna sit there and wait, and the other person that you want to see you is waiting. You're never gonna meet. You sit there doing nothing.
My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. I could care less who they meet after me. I'm out.
Facts.
That's all
Facts.
that matters to me. Good luck. If that's what I would say. If it's working for you, then go ahead. Maybe that works for her.
Hmm.
So go
Hmm.
ahead.
But again, you're not on a dating side if it's working for you. Just saying. Just saying.
Go ahead.
Just
Please go
saying,
ahead.
And I'm at a point where I know exactly what I want.
See,
So I'm trying to go after it. And I'm not going to dilly dally with side pieces or flings. And I'm putting in real effort. Like I said, there's been a mental shift in the world for me. So I'm like, you know what? I need something wholesome. I need something that's concrete, that's stable, that has sense, that can be a positive role model to my daughter, and vice versa. That I can
yeah,
bring to any family member or friend to
yeah,
say, hey,
yeah,
this is my girl. Oh, really? Yeah. And then we kick it. Whether it's day one or day 101, the vibe is
yeah,
still supposed to be there. It's just some people just make it too difficult now.
yeah.
And
It
why?
is difficult. I'm not gonna say, and it's not easy to craft a masterpiece anyway. Like in no shape or form, no way. It is difficult.
Mhm.
Relationships are difficult, regardless of the title. Some we have just become used to, like our relationship with our parents or our
Mhm.
siblings. We've been in them so long, but there's a
It's second
commitment to
nature.
even that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do make a commitment to make it work,
This is true.
but
This is
it's
very true.
easy. We make it easier because we tell ourselves, "Oh, that's my brother. I love them. That's my sister. I was raised with them. I'm supposed to." But there are many brothers and sisters that don't get along at all.
This
Many
is
mothers
true.
and daughters, many sons and fathers that don't talk or don't get along. I have some
This
of
is
them in my
true.
own family. So you do have to make a commitment to see past some of those things that these people may do that you don't like, you don't love about
Yep.
them, but you love
Sure.
them so much. And there's the good far outweighs the bad. That is every relationship, romantic and otherwise. Fine, you see somebody, you like their looks, you get to know them, you like who they are, you continue to date them, they become a part of your life,
Hmm.
hopefully. But each is a stage, and we just have to learn to shed some of those foolish. I can't even say they're foolish because everybody's different, but
Bad habits. We'll say
I
bad
would say
habits.
shed some of those things that just don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, man.
But then what question? The question is now, what really matters, though?
That's what I'm saying. That is relative because
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I'm saying I can't tell a girl or a woman rather
Hmm.
to not want a man with money.
No,
Go ahead.
nothing's wrong with that.
It's just not gonna be me.
Right.
That's cool. I can't tell a man to not want a girl with a hourglass figure.
Mm.
But there's many girls that'll make him happy without hourglass figures that he's not gonna pick. Fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully you find your hourglass love. Baby girl, hopefully you find your gold digger love.
Mm.
Everybody
Mm.
has preferences as long as it's not no pedophile type vibe, as long as it's mutually respectful love and understanding. Go find it. Some man like white gal, some man like black gal, some gal like black man, some gal like white gal. Actually, I didn't mean to say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Some gal do like white gal. Whatever, whatever works for you, my guy.
It's true. It's true. Now, here's the question: what is the difference between preference and standards?
That's a very good question. I don't even know the exact definition of both words.
Would they be one and the same, though?
I think they could be similar, and they
Hmm.
can be one and the same because your standard could be your preference could be to live up to your standard, right? To put it in a sentence. Yeah, I'd have to look the both words up. Off the top of my head, I would say a preference is changes more often than a standard would
Okay.
or
So
can change
the standard
more.
is the level you want to be at, where the preference is helping you get to that standard or making your decisions to get to that standard, right?
Uh, I put it like a, a preference is a lighter standard. So like a preference is like something that I would like to happen or something that I would like to in my life. Well, if we're speaking about, let's talk about in dating terms. A
Hmm.
preference is something that I would like my partner to have.
Right.
A standard is something that I need my partner to have.
Mm.
A
The
preference
like
is a
versus the
want.
need.
A preference is a want. A standard is a need to, in my estimation. But let's okay, hold
Okay,
on.
but then now some people's standards like, oh, I need a man with money. That's not really a need. That is a more of a want.
It depends on the situation. Because if she's broke, she needs him to have money. She has
Need
no way, no future in mind to make money or to have more money than she has. She needs a man with money. I would refer to my other example, the man wanting a woman with an hourglass figure. You don't need that. That's not going
You're
to
right.
sustain your life in no way.
You're
Now,
right.
needing a standard might be a woman, a smart woman.
Okay.
I need her to be smart because I can't.
Knowledge.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need some knowledge, and it's not even knowledge so much as it is smart. So a friend of mine classifies intelligence as book smart. Like
Mm.
your intelligence comes from things that you can regurgitate the amount of retained knowledge, but your smarts come from how you action that
Right.
knowledge, that
Right.
intelligence.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
don't have to actually be book smart to be smart.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just need her to be smart. That's more of a standard to me. And correct if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's how I feel about it without looking them up.
I got you. I get you. That makes sense. That
All
makes
right,
sense.
preference because I think preference. When I say preferences could change, sorry to drag it, but it's
No,
when I
go
say
ahead.
preferences change, I think your preference. You can meet somebody that meets your standard, but not necessarily your preferences, and you fall for that person based on standards. But the other vice versa can happen too if you're, I mean, wishy-washy, you're not mature, and you could meet somebody that meets your preferences and not your standards and fall in love with that because the girl looks good or looks to the, she looks like the woman of your dreams, but
Mm-hmm.
inside there's nothing really there to fulfill those dreams. You might pick her, or vice versa. The girl might not look so good or might not live up to your
Preference,
preference.
but she still
And
meets this.
again, both, to your point, those they can be the same thing because that can be my standard. My standard is an hourglass figure. That's something I think I need. They're both very personal.
But then you would have to back it up for the why.
Well, see. I think I made a mistake in that I was speaking from a personal perspective of the
Of
thing.
course, we're
But
personal people, yeah.
but if I'm saying both preference and standards are relative to the
Mm,
person who's
who makes
applying.
them
Yeah,
right,
you right. You make your own We don't have the same preference or standard,
right.
and the varying degrees of how important those things are to us is as varying as the standards themselves
Mm-hmm,
between
mm-hmm.
person to person. So I can't say. Some man might say, "Yeah, I need a girl that looks like this on my arm," because for whatever reason, for him, it's important. He doesn't care that she's not smart. That's his standard.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I guess what I'm ultimately could say is that you're the one that has to decide what's the difference between your preference and your standard.
This is true. This is
You might
true.
not even A lot of people might not even know. But that's a good question. Answer that,
Hon-
people out there.
We'll see. I mean,
Mhm.
again, people again will assume that they know, and they mix up
Yeah,
the two,
yeah.
right?
I
They'll
think
mix up
there's
this preference with the standard, and the standard with the preference. But I mean, to each their own. I was just curious because I mean, people have, I like a woman to be like this. Why? Well, because, like for instance, we'll say a woman that doesn't smoke.
hmm
Why? Well, because I don't. My standards. I don't have smoke in my house.
mm,
'Cause that's a standard.
hmm
I would mind having someone who doesn't smoke, but if I mean that's not the preference is the preference. You can look past that preference if that person goes and smokes outside,
yeah.
whatever. But your standard is, hey, no smoke in my house or no alcohol in my house, and blah blah blah. If you want to do it anywhere else, fine. But you know what? In my house, no. Again, those are just my standards or an example of standards opposed
hmm
to preference. But yeah, it's all right. Just wondering
Okay.
again.
So according to AI, the
Hmm.
standard. Hold on. Actually, let me make sure here. Make sure I ask this right. All right.
Hmm.
A standard represents a set criteria or baseline that is considered acceptable or necessary, often based on established guidelines or industry norms. Preference refers to a personal inclination or choice regarding something, indicating what someone simply likes or dislikes more than another option with less emphasis on strict requirements. I don't even know what.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
That was very,
Uh,
very technical.
yeah, and I don't even know. Still vague.
Very technically
Preference is
vague.
the way you prefer things to be, and requirements, things defined by your values and standards that are not negotiable. Yeah, I think a standard is non-negotiable, whereas a preference is possibly negotiable.
Yes, that's
I
preference.
might like,
What you would
yeah,
like. A
yes,
standard is like, that's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That I definitely like. I definitely like this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
well, yeah,
Okay.
well,
Okay.
man.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, Weather's changing.
Yep.
I believe. I think, like I said, this is probably the earliest I've seen it ready to start looking like spring, because for the last few years, winter has moved up into a freaking April here, anyways. But now we're getting some sunshine. Like we had a whole, like you said, you were here February. usually, I mean, you missed the deep freeze of
Mm,
-28 and so, but when you were here, we had a nice week of decent weather. Next
same.
day, when you left, I mean, there was a lot of wind, no snow, a
No
lot of
snow.
wind.
And it's still
But
warm.
I believe global warming is again, as people think, oh, it's not happening. That's a real thing. The shift is happening.
I think so too.
The shift is happening because
Well, don't be
uh,
surprised if we don't get another heavy cold or snow. Remember, we still got March and maybe a little bit of April.
yeah, no, it's a possibility, but it just seems like it's possible that these these seasons are shifting when they start and when they finish now. So
Yeah.
winter is starting a bit later,
Hmm.
and it's ending much later. It's going. So I'm thinking, again, I'm just throwing it out there. Come 100 years from now, it could be a total shift. Your winter could be in January. I'm sorry, it could be in June or July,
Hmm.
and your summer could be in December and January. I feel like that's possibly happening based on all the things that are going on in the world. Global warming, the continental shifts and whatnot, because the Earth is always still moving too. There's a lot of things that are happening that we can't explain that is
Hey,
changing.
did you watch the Paradise?
Not yet. That's what I'm watching
Yeah,
next.
check that out. Check out Paradise, and I have been watching Zero Day. It's called Zero Day with
That's
Robert
with
De
De
Niro and
Niro.
Angela Bassett. Yeah,
Yeah, that's on. Is that on Prime or
Netflix.
that's on
Yeah,
Netflix? Yes,
yeah,
that's a TV series, correct?
yep. I
Yes.
don't know. Well, it's a limited series.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
and that's another thing. That's again, we're going to movies and TV. I've noticed now that movies or these streaming services, they're not really putting movies, but they're putting movie quality shows out there, a
yeah.
series, right? So they're not like, and they're always quick to like not in the theater movies anymore. They're just throwing them on Netflix or Prime, whatever. They used to be called those B movies that wouldn't get no play in the theater, but there's some good movies that are playing on streaming services that are not in theaters, which is cool.
Mm.
But then there's a lot of crappy TV there too. Like I was trying to watch the John Benet Ramsey case on Netflix. I was just interested in probably the first 10 minutes, and then I was trying to start watching the OJ thing again.
Which one? The documentary?
Yeah, on
Yeah, I've seen
Netflix.
enough of those. I'm good. How many
Yeah,
times are you
exactly.
gonna keep telling us about OJ and the friggin' what's it called? Brothers.
The
The
glove, the
no.
Menendez brothers.
Yeah, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I now again, I watched it, the Menendez documentary. Not the I watched half of the movie, but I'm like, this is the same thing.
Mhm,
You're just regurgitating the thing just to make things look cool again. But no,
mhm.
yeah, there's only so much you can say about the same thing that hasn't changed. I
Yeah.
mean, OJ's passed on.
Yeah, we
What
don't
else you got to say?
yeah, I don't need no more about OJ. I'm good.
Yeah,
Cuba
OJ's
Gooding was the last one I watched. I'm not watching no more.
Cuba
He's
Gooding.
yeah, when Cuba Gooding Jr. was playing OJ and the OJ versus what is OJ versus the versus whatever. It was good though. It
Ranted
was
and
good.
Raven. What?
Yeah,
I
yeah, it was
remember
good. I
that,
liked it.
bro.
I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, again, when you got when you have no creativity going on right now, you start regurgitating the same old stuff again. Trust me,
Mhm.
that's what they do.
Yeah,
It goes on with Disney movies. Goes on with these thrillers. It's the
facts.
same thing. No one is putting out stuff that is engaging anymore, and it's boring people.
Well, I
So
can't say that again. Watch Paradise.
I
Very
will, but
good.
that's not a regurgitation of something. That's not something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
thought you
Yeah,
saw
but
before.
that's what I'm saying.
It's something
I'm just
new.
saying stuff,
I'm definitely going to watch
new
that
good
starting.
stuff is coming out. There
How
is
many
new good stuff
episodes is
out.
that?
Right now it's about 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
So it's an
Still
actual
going.
series. It's still
Yeah,
going. Okay,
yeah, still
okay,
going. I think it's a limited series too, but I don't know.
okay. Because
That
I
and
was
Severance are the best shows on TV to me. And Severance is madness. Those are
okay,
the best
okay.
shows.
See, yeah, I'd rather watch those than because I was going to actually start and rewatch House. I like House.
Oh,
I like
MD?
House.
I
Yeah,
never watched that show really. Watched
that's
a
that.
couple episodes, but I never got
Yeah,
into it.
I think it's a cool
Mm.
premise. The character, anyways.
I get it.
And then I was going to watch Suits and
LA, I was
start
just
that
watching.
over. Oh, the new
Oh,
LA one?
yeah, I was just
You-
watching that.
Is it good?
I didn't get too deep into it yet. Just the first episode, and probably like
I
5-10
like the
minutes.
actor in it in terms of the guy who used to play Arrow.
Yeah, he's kind of plays the same guy all the time. But I liked
Exactly.
him on Arrow, and I liked him on Heels. So we'll see how he is here.
Exactly. So again, I just don't want him to feel typecast, because he
Yeah,
played Arrow for a long time,
yeah.
and then any of the movies he was in after that, like, I believe he was in Ninja Turtles, and then
Oh, I
like,
don't know.
yeah, he was exactly. You would never know because it was like, oh, he played Casey Jones. And
Oh, that
Casey
makes
was
sense.
he was a
That makes
big time, whatever. But in like, no one knew because
that-
everybody knows him as the Arrow, just like the guy who played Flash. Same thing.
Apparently, he's gonna play Flash in a movie too. I think.
They're gonna take. He's
Or they're
older now,
thinking
but
about it. I can't remember. I can't remember how
mhm,
it goes.
it is what it is. It
Yeah.
is what it is. I found out actually again going through the rabbit hole when watching these shows. J.R. Smith has a baby with the girl who played Flash's wife,
Oh, really?
Iris. Yeah,
Jared Smith, the basketball player?
yeah, but he's
Oh, yeah.
married.
Okay. We're gonna leave the show right there.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
But I'm just
Toast kind
saying.
of turned us into tabloid TV.
I mean,
I'm not going, brother. You ain't getting
all
me
right.
there.
I'm just saying. I'm like, wow. But I
I'm not
like the
trying to
show.
say you ain't gonna get me.
All
You
right.
ain't gonna
Well,
sue me, yeah.
it is what it is. What you got going on for the weekend then, brother?
Supposed to go to. Well, I'm working too as well, but I'm also supposed to go to some networking thing with Devin tomorrow. So see how that goes. Maybe I'll come back and we'll have a podcast deal that we can do this and just get paid to do this instead of our 9 to 5.
I do like that. I do like that
That's
for
about
sure.
it. That's
For sure.
about it for me, though, brother. What do you got going on?
I'm seeing my daughter out here. We're gonna watch some movies, play some games,
Nice.
and just chill. Like when weekends are just chill times, really. Like I had a
Yeah.
busy week, but now that I can actually enjoy it and just go chill, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
impromptu podcast makes my night, and then I just go off
Nice.
and chill off, and then that's it, man. That's it.
Proper.
Don't have to work or don't have to think about work, and I can
Nice.
just
That's what it's
enjoy it.
supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be in my
Yeah,
estimation.
exactly. I'm using the weekends how they should be right now, and I'm proud and blessed that I can do that now. So I'll keep
Right.
on pushing and keep on doing what I do. But yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, folks,
Yes,
that's it for
sir.
us. Another quick impromptu show. Darkness with Ginger Hue. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're everywhere.
Mhm.
We're everywhere. Just
We're
like and
everywhere.
subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your
We
people.
in there like swimwear and get your girl skincare.
Facts.
Whatever.
Mad facts. Anyways, that's it. From my boy Slang Hue, your boy Sir Tokes. We out of here. Peace.